welcome back to our, we're going to focus on polynomial identities. Polynomial identities. Here's a warm-up for the day, and I'm going to put about 4 minutes. I'm not going to wait that long, but this is for you when you watch afterwards. All right, looks like I've got multiple of them. So please focus on the warm-up. It helps us to get our minds conditioned for the game today. Help me in the comment on the live stream once you get an answer, or also the chat and the private chat. There's multiple ways you could reach me. With your whiteboard, definitely that's the best, so I can see what's going on. If there's trends, I could address them. Okay, I'm going to pause here for you to remember when you watch afterwards, you could definitely finish the 4 minutes. But let's get started for the time's sake. Okay, who would like to help me with the first one? This warm-up is supposed to be a review of things that we've done. So use your whiteboard, as I said, use your chat, try to stay connected with me in different ways here. So who would help me with the first one? Who can help me multiply these? We've used different methods to multiply, if you guys remember. Here we go. Daniela is suggesting that I create a box, and that's what I would do. You could use different method. This is probably the best. And x minus 3, x plus 3. X times x is what? Can somebody tell me? X times x. That's why I said whiteboard is much more beneficial to you. Your keyboard is kind of limited. Our keyboards are not math ready yet, I guess. Hopefully in the future we will have a keyboard that is ready. And x times 3. See the camera's coming up here. And that's a negative 9. And we've done a lot of these boxes, by the way. Here, good job, Lee. That's awesome. Just saw a whiteboard here. So you've done these. If you've done a lot of boxes, now I could say confidently you probably could start to simplify within the box. But if you're not comfortable with that yet, go ahead and list the whole thing. I'm going to pretend I'm not, so I'm just going to go like this. X squared minus 3x plus 3x minus 9. And what do you think is going to be the answer? Here we go. What do you think is going to be the final answer here? I need more of us on the chat. I need more of us on the whiteboard. Comment. Here we go. All what you're going to get from this whole thing is just x squared minus 9. That's what you're gonna get. So obviously, if you do, as I said, if you've done a lot of these boxes before, then you confidently feel that this is okay to do it here. Until that point, though, go ahead and list them just like the way I did here. I'm not gonna list them for the next problems. I'm not gonna list the terms for the next problems, but you know your capacity, and if that's what it requires from you, then just do it. Help yourself. Okay, the next one, I'm also going to do a box, and this is broken into kind of a weird looking box here, but I've got x squared plus 6x plus 9 I've got myself x plus 3 here. Somebody help me out. Let me call Ariana and Ava and Eileen. Don't wait for your friend and try to... here we go. Amaka's coming up with the whiteboard. I've got x cubed. That looks very good, Amaka. Thank you. X cubed, we've got 6x squared. And I've got 9x's. So because x squared times x is going to be x cubed. And x times x is x squared. And 6 times 1 is 6. And 9 times 1, which is the coefficient next to the x, there's a 1 here. So 9 times 1 is 9. And then I have the x. X, that's 3x squared. And I've got, how much do you think I have here? Belen and Benjamin and Brian, how much do you think I got here for 6x times 3 and 9 times 3? Here we go. A lot of chats coming up now. Multiple chats. 18x, that's true. That's Benjamin. Good job. And the last one is 9 times 3. How much is 9 times 3? 27. Okay. So again, I'm gonna combine within the box since I've done some of these before. So 6 and 3. See that? 6 and 3. So first of all, I know that I'm not gonna end up with x squared anymore because you're actually multiplying x times x squared. It's not gonna end up with x squared. If you end up with x squared at the degree of or the highest exponent is x squared, that means you did something wrong. Because it has to be higher than what you started with. You're multiplying in this case. So x cubed is what I start with. And then I got 3, and that's a 9. X squared. I've got 9 plus, I'll use a different color for this here. 9 plus 18. How much is 9 plus 18? Lee is ready for us. 27. 27x and plus 27. Okay. So I did multiply a binomial, 2 items, times trinomial, 3 items, and I end up with this 4-term polynomial. Okay, last but not least is this dude down here, and this says that you have x plus 4 quantity squared. Okay. Well, the best thing I could do is probably just make it look nicer, and then multiply that way. So that's this one here. By the way, we're actually live right now, so if you want to send the link to somebody else, they're able to watch as well. So x plus 4 and x plus 4. Watch what I'm doing, because today we're going to talk about shortcuts, by the way. There's a shortcut for this guy here, and a shortcut for this, and a shortcut for number 3. So x times x is how much? Help me out. X times x is how much? Here we go. X squared. And what do you think is 4 times? That's 4x. And another 4x. And I've got 4 times 4. How much you think I got? Yep, that is 16. Again, within the box, I'm gonna if you're not feeling comfortable simplifying within the box, please do not do it. List the whole thing as I did in here, as I did in the first one. List them. It's okay. So this is x squared plus 8x plus 16. Interesting. X squared, that's like this guy being squared here. Notice what's going on here. This is like this guy here being squared. See this being squared? And then I've got 8. How'd you get the 8? Interesting. It looks like a 2 times 4 or something. And how'd you get you to 16? 16. What gets you from 4 to 16? How'd you get from 4 to 16? I just wonder. Here we go. Interesting. Yeah. Squared. That's right. We're going to take a look at that today, because we're going to talk about some shortcuts today. Okay. So the objective, I will be able to prove polynomial identities and use them to multiply and factor polynomials. Okay. Let me have you give me one word from the objective in your chat or your comments on the live stream or your whiteboard. All of us should participate. Give me one word from the objective. The expectation is for you actually to be writing as I'm taking notes as we're going through the lesson. Factor, polynomial, I. That's true. Okay. So before we get to this, if you guys remember, where do we ever use this in life? Is this even used in live polynomials? The answer is yes, of course. Roller coaster designers use polynomials to describe the curves of the rides. Okay, see these curves here? And this is me, by the way. The top of that's not me. I'm joking. I do ride roller coasters, but not this one. If you could think of any other example, or maybe you could Google it, you could help me with the comments below the video or also your chat. Okay, feel free to do that. If you find another example, you want to share it with us. First one we're going to cover is we're going to cover four identities today. 4 different ways to basically 4 shortcuts. To me, I'm going to call them shortcuts. So the first one is called difference of squares, and please read this carefully. Difference of squares. So I'm going to put some picture, and I'm expecting you to do the same. Difference of squares. So basically, I got something squared, so I'm going to put a square here. Square, something being squared minus something else being squared. And the word difference in math is the subtraction. Difference is subtraction. Difference is subtraction here. Okay. So if you have something squared minus another item being square, well, basically you could factor this out to be the first plus the second times the first minus the second. As simple as that. And if you don't believe this, it's totally fine. You could actually multiply backwards, which is exactly what we've done in the warm-up. You could take these items and multiply them backwards, and you will find yourself looking at 2 items being squared with a negative between them. So let's take an example on this. First one says factor, find the factors of x squared minus 16. So immediately if I looked here, I'm gonna, oh my goodness, there's something being squared here. Look, what's being squared, do you think? What's being squared here? What's being squared in the x squared? What gives me x squared? What times what gives you x squared? Exactly, it's the x. So the x is being squared. So if I put x here, and that's the one in the box, that's squared, minus, what do you think is giving me 16? The 4 is. The 4 when squared gives you 16. So look at the setup here. I've got something being squared, which is x, minus something else being squared, which is a 4, which we just talked about. This is going to give you 2 parentheses. The first one is the item itself, the first item, minus a term, minus 4, and then x plus 4. That's basically what you're going to get. When you factor this out, this is exactly what you're going to get. Now, there's obviously multiple ways you could get to this, but that's what we're going to get when we do the factors for this binomial. Any question on this? So basically, you're going to see which one you're factoring in. So I've got x and got times x, and I've got a 4 times 4. If this is, and you have a negative between them, this is exactly what you're going to end up with. The first term minus the second, the first term plus the second. That's what you get. As simple as that. So what if you don't believe this one? I'm only going to do it one time for those who are skeptical. So take this and multiply it out. If you end up, because it says identity, by the way. Identity means whatever on the left is going to equal to whatever on the right. So I'm going to take this and multiply it out. See if I'm going to end up with the original identity. So with the original side, I should say. So I'm going to go here and see if I could come up with that. If I multiply it, you don't have to do it this way. I'm just saying. If you don't believe it, that's the way you prove it yourself. Or that's the way to check also. You could be believing it, but not you need just to check. So that's what we do to check. X plus 4. Help me out, you guys. X times X is how much? That's true. And then negative 4X. And then positive 4X. And then I'll get a negative 16. What do you think I'm going to do now? What do you think is my next step? Daniela, Elmar, Emily, what's my next step here? Here we go. I'm going to combine like terms, and these awesome, good lookings are just gone. They're gone, leaving me with what? What do you think is going to be the result here? Come on. Yes, here we go. Multiple chats going on at the same time. Don't wait for your friend. Even if they have the answer written down, you write your own opinion. You give me your thoughts. I see myself looking at x squared minus 16, which does prove the point. The actual factors of x squared minus 16 is going to be x minus 4, x plus 4. Okay? Well, that's how you do it. So remember, but you're looking at, you really have to read this carefully again. You are taking the difference of squares, something being squared minus the other item being squared as well. Okay, let's do this together, okay? I wanted you to help me out. We're going to go right from this binomial to the factors themselves. So what do you think is being squared here? What's being squared here? That's right. The 5 is being squared. What else is being squared, by the way? No, think again. Before you leave this 5, what else is being squared? Oh, and this item, and the one on the left. It looks like a little bit chubby, but there's something else being squared. Look closely at what I got here. Yes, thank you, Emily. We've got two things being squared, by the way. There's a 5 being squared, and also x is being squared. So there's two items being squared in this moment. And there's a 5, and there's another x being squared. See that? How about this guy here? What's being squared here? What is being squared on the, yes, that's true. The 6y, and then another 6y. Yep. If you multiply them out, you're gonna get like that. So I wanted to take a look at the actual factors, and can somebody suggest what I'm gonna write here? Woohoo! Woohoo! Can somebody suggest what I'm gonna put here? Actually, when you come here, my best advice is for you to circle, just like that, and circle one of them. That's what I would advise. That's very true. 5x minus 6y. By the way, it doesn't matter which one you start with, the plus or the minus or the negative. Does not matter. As long as you capture both of them, you should be okay. And that's it. Believe it or not. This is the identity. This is how much this guy equals when you factor it out. So that's 5x minus 6y, 5x plus 6y. All what I did is found out what is exactly being squared. And since I have a difference of square, I'm going to follow the shortcut with identity, which is the first term minus the second, first term plus the second. And as I said, doesn't matter. You could start with a plus and then here's minus. That's okay. All right. For this shortcut. I wanted you to do this. Try this on your own and then give me some feedback. Okay, so to use your whiteboard, so chat. Even if your friend has it, you still want to participate. You want to put your 2 cents and join the fun. So go ahead and try this one. Shouldn't take you that long. Probably say maybe less than a minute here. I'm giving you time to do this problem. I see that. I see good stuff there on the chat. Remember, you could use your whiteboard, which is definitely helpful. Okay. I need to see more. Here we go. Here's Lee and Zoe. Good job there. That's basically how you do it. As simple as that. That's basically how we do it. So I'm going to share with you what we've got now. Your friends are saying this is, I know what's being squared here, which is the 7 and the x is being squared. So basically they're saying 7x and another 7x. And this dude here, we've got 4y's times 4y's. I'll give myself more room here. 4y's times 4y's. Okay, and all of this, a lot of you have given me that correctly. 7x plus 4y and times 7x minus 4y. Yep, I see that, Daniela. Good job there. These are the factors of. So when you factor this out, that's exactly what you're going to get. All right, let's move on to the next item. And the next one is going to be the square of a sum. And please read it that way, square of the sum. So what's going on here? Well, there's a picture here, and picture is worth 1,000 words. So I'm going to put something here. So there's two items here. So this here, I'm adding two things. So I'm adding, let's say, something here plus another something, plus another thing, and the whole thing's being squared. The whole thing's being squared. Did you see that? Square of a sum. So you are squaring something that is being added. Sum means addition. So I'm adding two things, and I'm squaring the entire amount. And if that's what you get, you're going to end up with this. So do pay attention as I talk here. You're going to take the first item and square it. Whatever the first term is, that's the one you're going to square it. And then you're going to say 2 times the first times the second. 2 times the first term times the second term, 2ab. And then finally, you're going to end up with plus the second term being squared. The second term being squared. Doesn't matter if the addition is before the subtraction. Addition before the subtraction. It doesn't matter, Ariana. Yeah, for the previous example, it does not matter. As long as you capture both of them, you should be fine. Good question. So let's take an example here. It says the square of a sum. Square of a sum. So basically in this example, excuse me, I'm going to say this is the first term, right? So I'm going to take the x itself and then square it. Plus, I'm going to use this sign, by the way. I'm going to use the same sign here. Plus 2 times the first item, that's x, times the second term, which is 5. I'm following the shortcut that I just gave you. Plus the second term being squared, the 5 being squared. What are we doing here? Well, I'm trying to avoid going through the box. I'm trying to find a shortcut, and this is the shortcut for square of sum. So basically, how much is x squared here? Oh, I just gave you the answer. How much would this be here? How much is 2 times x times 5? How much is 2 times x times 5? Oh, come on, you guys. Oh, no. Look, there is like a delay or something. 10x is the answer. That's correct. How much is 5 squared? That is true. 25. So believe it or not, this is what you're going to get. Again, if you want to prove it, that's totally fine. It's up to you. I'm not going to take the time to do it. But you could definitely box in this dude here. Remember what we've done in the warm-up? You could take this dude in and box it in. You will end up with this. I guarantee you. So this is, again, a shortcut that we could use. Remember, it's called the square of sum. You take the first item, square it, plus 2 times first times second, and plus the second item being squared. Let's do another example. Help me with this one here. I have something or a term, and another term, the whole amount is being squared. I could do FOIL. I mean, I could have this like in two separate parentheses and use the box, or I could use a shortcut. So what does the shortcut say? Does anybody recall? What do I do with the 3x? What do I do with the 3x? I'm gonna square it. That's true. That's what the shortcut says. You take this item or term squared. Plus, does anybody remember what's that number that we put here? There's a number here. Here we go. 2 times. I need somebody to help Lee. Come on. Lee's answering the questions here. Come on, you guys. 2 times 3x times 4y's. And what's going to happen here? Does anybody remember? Janeth, Jocelyn, Marvin, Morgan. I'm going to have the second term square that. Okay, don't take shortcuts. I would probably put them like this first and then definitely put the answer afterwards. So how much is 3x squared? 3x and then 3x quantity squared. That is a 9x squared. Thank you. Plus I've got 2 times 3. That's 6 times 4. That's 24xy. And then I got 16y squared. You guys are doing a good job. That's the way I do this one here. Okay. Can I use the box for this one, Armani? Of course you could. You could put 2 of them together and then use the box. You will end up with this answer here. We're only providing shortcuts and identities in this lesson. Okay, any question before I move on? Give me a thumbs up if you're doing good. Thumbs up if we're doing good here. If you're getting this, give me a thumbs up. How can I? Yeah, I just got a question right now. The question was, how did we end up with x and y? Well, look here. I'm multiplying 2 times 3. That's by itself is going to give you what? How much is that? Angelina, how much is 2 times 3x? $6x. That's right. Now I'm going to take 6x and multiply it by the 4y's. Well, 6 times 4 is 24, right? And x times y, well, you just have to leave them the way they are. They can't mix, they can't mingle. It will stay as x times y. That's why we have 24xy. Did that help, Angelina? So you can multiply even. Yes, you're right. For multiplication, it's okay. And if there's any question on that, I would definitely watch my last video on adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomial. You guys did a good job on that video, so I would watch that video. Okay, try this one here. This is yours to try, so give you a few seconds for that. I need to see whiteboards. want to encourage you that whiteboard is also participation, so don't forget that that element of the class. That's how you participate in the class. Okay, so it looks like I see 2x, that's the first item being squared, plus 2 times the first item or term, plus the second term. I see that, Lee, good job there, plus the second term being squared. So I've got basically 4x, and I see that, Marvin, good job, 4x squared plus 2 times 2, that's 4 times 3, that's 12xy, and I've got 9y squared. Okay, when you watch this video afterward, thank you, Lee, you could definitely pause and solve it before you look at the solution, right? You want to solve it, you want to try it on your own. All right, the third item I want to cover today is called the difference of cubes. Well, how do you draw a cube, Armani? Well, let me show you how you draw a cube. Do this with me, okay? So draw yourself a square, just like this. And right in the middle here, draw another square. See that? And then link the edges. Okay, you got a cube here. So there's something being cubed minus another thing being cubed as well. So I've got another cube here. Okay, an item being cubed minus another item being cubed as well. And I'm gonna write this here. This one is here. This one is there. Let's take off this negative from this side. Okay. So something being cubed minus another thing being cubed. Difference of cubes. Basically, there's a subtraction between two things being cubed. So what's being cubed here, do you think? What's being cubed? Come on, champions. The A is being cubed. What's being cubed here? The B. So if you looked exactly at the shortcut, you will end up with two parentheses. One that is slim and the other one is a little bit chubby. The first parenthesis is going to be A minus B, the first term, minus the second term, just like that. No exponents, except there's one, right? And then the second parenthesis would have the first item being squared, and then first times second, first term times second, and then finally plus the second term being squared. So I wanted you, when it comes to cubes, I use soap. What? I thought that's what you use when you take a shower. Yes, when you take a shower, and you also use it when you deal with difference of cubes. Soap. Soap. Somebody write this down, please, in the chat. Soap. Hello. Yellow. So what's this soap, Armani? Well, when it comes to cubes, here's what I wanted you to look at. S in soap stands for same. So same. I'm talking about the sign, by the way, because sometimes we need reminders for sign. So look at this. Sign here is the same as what you started with. What did you start with? Well, it was negative. Well, that's going to be the same sign, negative. And then O is opposite. What's opposite of negative? What's opposite of negative? That's positive, and I see that here. Look, that's positive sign. And then AP is always positive. Always positive. AP stands for always positive. So always positive. Always positive. So this second item here is always this here is going to be always, this sign is going to be always positive. Okay? So that's what we use soap for, difference of cubes, because we actually have another one which is sum of cubes. Like this guy's going to be plus here. So how do you know the difference? Well, you use the SOAP. Use the SOAP is going to help you a lot. SOAP, same, opposite, and always positive. Same, opposite, always positive helps us to remember sum and difference of cubes. Okay, same, opposite, always positive. Helps me remember the signs. So let's take a look. The first thing here it says, whoa, my goodness, I'm looking at something that is that being cubed? What is being cubed gives you 8. What's number is cubed? When you cube it, you get to 8. Hello. Good morning. What number when it's cubed gives you 8? Like number times itself 3 times. Okay, so this one says, well, Armani, I know if you cube the 2, you're gonna get 8. 2 times 2 times 2 gives you 8. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. What is being cubed here? What do you think is being cubed here? The x. The x times itself 3 times gives you cube. So back to the SOAP. I'm gonna just put SOAP here for me to remember. I'm gonna have 2 parentheses. The first one is kind of tiny, and the second one is chubby. So I'll take the first term, which is a 2, minus. I'm using the same. Look at this one, right? Same from SOAP, same, and then x. So I'm only gonna circle, and that's actually I have a good habit of circling one of them because that's what I'm gonna deal with, and also circling the sign itself. So I've got 2 minus x, and then the formula says, or the shortcut says, you're going to start with the first item square that, this item here. So it's 2 squared. And then I'm going to use this SOAP here. It's my opposite, because this was O. This was O. This was S. I'm going to have an O here, opposite. So what's opposite of negative? That's positive. And then I'm going to say it's 2 times x. Okay, and the last one, does anybody remember AP stands for what? What does the AP stand for in SOAP? That's true. So this has to be positive. The sign has to be positive, which is always positive. Always positive. And then I'm going to square this item, which is x by itself. So x, and then square it. And remember, this is AP here, AP. Okay, I'm just going to rewrite again and nice. This is 2 minus x times 4 plus 2x's plus x squared. And this is good. There's nothing wrong with this one. I just wanted it to be more polite. So I'm just going to put this. This is correct. I'm going to put it in standard form. Does anybody remember how do you put this one in standard form? How do you put this thing in standard form? Here. Oh, come on, Jocelyn. Come on, Marvin. Nick. That's right. I'm going to start with the highest degree exponent plus highest exponent, I should say, with the degree of this polynomial. That's it, and I'm done. So that's how you do the SOAP for the difference of cubes. Difference of cubes. 2 things being cubed. That's exactly what I do. SOAP. Use SOAP. Use SOAP. Yes, use SOAP. The other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain, other side of the mountain, to see what he would see, to see what he would see. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next one here. What is going on here? Well, Armani, don't be afraid. Come on, we could do this because it says we do. Let's do this together, okay? What is being cubed here? Thank you. And Miss Lee said this is 5x, 5x, 5x. What's being squared on this side here? What's being cubed on this side here? Okay, Yana, can you just hold on until I finish? We could. And remember, we also have the video, okay? Just ask me towards the end of class. Okay, so 5x. So I'm going to put, again, SOAP here for me, just as a reminder. And I'm going to put myself two parentheses. A tiny and a chubby one. So what do you think is going to go here? 5x minus, hello, thank you, minus 2. And then I'm going to say 5x, I have to square that. Oh, by the way, I used SOAP here, remember? There's a SOAP, same is what exactly I started with. And then there is a 5x squared, and then I'm going to say 5x times 2. Apparently this thing was not chubby enough. And then plus, again, I have a 2 being squared. Okay, and just as a reminder, you use S, same as whatever you start with the sign, and then use opposite, and then AP, always positive. And this is just for me to make it look a little bit nicer, because that's my habit, make things look nicer. So this is 25x squared plus 10x plus the 4. Fortunately, with this one we don't have to put in standard form because it's already in standard form. So that's how we do difference of cubes. Okay, difference of cubes. Remember, the difference means subtraction. You're subtracting a cube from another cube, and that's the shortcut for that one. Okay, champions, do this one here and show me what you know. Show what you know. Here we go. Show what you know. Show what you know. What was that? Please don't wait for somebody to give you the answer. You work the answer. You work the answer, and then you work hard for the answer. Making mistakes is perfectly fine, as long as we take a look and fix them. Okay, so can somebody tell me what's being cubed here? What is this thing being cubed here? The 2, and what else? The 2m is being cubed, right? 2m times 2m times 2m. And how about the 27? What's being cubed to give you 27? What times itself 3 times give you 27? The 3 is. Okay, so basically I have 2 parentheses. This is a 2m minus 3. I'm using SOAP, S for SOAP. And then I have 2m quantity squared. So be careful with this guy here, because this is 2m quantity squared, not just the 2 being squared. And then I'm gonna use opposite. Nick, I see that. Good job there. Keep that there for a second, Nick. Opposite. Opposite of what I got is the plus sign, and then I have 2m times the 3. Thank you, Nick. And then finally I have the always positive sign from SOAP, always positive, and then we have a 3 being squared. Thank you, Nick. So basically I've got 2m minus 3 times 4m squared plus 6m's m+, plus 9. I don't like M&M. I don't actually like sweets that much. I like fruit. Anyways, so soap, I use soap to help me with this as well. The last item we're going to cover is called the sum of cubes. The last one was what? The very last one that we covered was difference of. Now we're going to talk about sum of, meaning you have a cubed plus another cube. Use this plus here. So that plus the sum is plus. So once again, an item being cubed, right? Something being cubed here. And plus another thing being cubed. And I have plus between them. I'm adding them up. Something being cubed plus another thing being cubed. And if we look closely here again, we're almost matching the last one with one exception. When you use soap, it becomes really easy to see. This is S. Opposite, always positive. So you're going to take the first term plus the second. You're going to use the same sign, same as whatever you started with. And then the second parenthesis would have a squared, opposite sign from soap, O. And then always positive when you have the last item being squared. Let's take an example. I've got 8m cubed plus 125. What's the difference between this one and a couple of problems ago? Well, this is a plus Armani. This is a addition. So I'm just going to cut through the chase here. What's being cubed here is the 2m. What's being cubed here is a 5. So basically, I've got myself two parentheses like this. And if you want to do this with me, go ahead and do that. So 2m, and then use the same plus the 5, and then I'm going to say this is 2m quantity squared. Please don't forget the quantity squared plus the 2m times the 5, right? Plus the 5 being squared. Give myself more room. All right, and in this case I've got 2m plus 5, and I've got 4m squared, because the 2 affects both of them, by the way. This 2 is affecting here and affecting there, by the way. And then I've got 10m's plus 25, and I'm done with this problem. Don't forget to use soap. Soap, S, opposite. Oops, did I make a mistake? I did make a mistake. Opposite here. My apology. This is negative, opposite. I'm happy that I use soap. Opposite, always positive. Okay, so same, opposite, always positive. Okay. And let's do this one here. I've got myself 27m cubed and 64. Well, what's being cubed here is 3m. What's being cubed here? What do you think is being cubed to give you 64? What's being cubed to give you 64? Yeah, I'm recording this. So, can somebody tell me what's being cubed to give me 64? The 4 is. That's true. 4 is being cubed. So 4 is being cubed, and this guy here is going to be cubed to give you that amount. So again, I'm gonna use soap, and this time I'm actually gonna write it down because I just fixed a mistake. So same. So I'm gonna start exactly with the same. So I've got 3m plus 4. That's the same for S and soap. And then I've got the first item squared. That is 3m squared. And then I'm gonna use opposite. O, opposite. That's why we use soap to remind us. I've got 3m times 4. And then finally I have the AP, always positive. The 4 is being squared. And finally I'm going to end up with 3m plus 4. And I've got 9m squared minus, how much do you think? What's 3 times 4? What's 3m times 4? That's 12 m's. And what is 4 squared? Thank you. That's a 16. That's it. That's the answer for this dude here. So once again, you find out what is being cubed, and then you use SOAP to help you with that one. Okay? Don't forget that this lesson is being recorded, so it's ample time for you to look back, and that's why I pasted the link for the video. Okay, this is the last one, and this one is gonna be, let's take a look. Well, the G is being cubed, so I'm looking at something being cubed and something else here being cubed as well, the H and the 4. So the G is and the H and 4, or 4 H's here. This is just the G. Okay, so this one is gonna be pretty easy because I'm gonna go right into it. So G plus 4H. G is being squared, plus the G plus the 4H plus the 4H. I just made another mistake here. This one is negative. Why did you forget that, Armani? Well, let's put SOAP. This is same. This has to be opposite. This has to be always positive. I've shown you how SOAP is powerful, and I just deducted something that I have to fix here, which I did. So G plus 4H, and then I've got myself a G squared minus 4GH plus 16H squared. Okay? And I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Good luck with you in these shortcuts, binomial identities, or factors, special factors of binomials, and we went through different ones of them. With this, we're going to conclude our lesson today. Be blessed wherever you're at. Okay?